Dope, 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 let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick, I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Yo, bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most. I tell her, little bitch, she so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me. Niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers.
This story begins long before the birth of Naruto, and in the Warring States period, and we focus deeper into the battle against the Senju and the Uchiha. After the loss of their brother, Tobirama and Hashirama would of course be highly upset. Busama, their father, walks into their home holding a bloody teen on his back. Both his sons stare on in confusion, not knowing what to do, but their father urges them to bring back the medical kit. Half an hour passes, is when the older teen seems to be somewhat in a stable condition. After cleaning off the blood, Tobirama notices who this person is. Father. Yes, my son. I know. Hashirama is confused as he's never met this person before. Tobirama tells him it's because he's always wandering off on his own when he shouldn't. Their father sighs, knowing this as well. His name is Sukuna Uzumaki, known as their golden child and prodigy. I was going to check on his family, but by the time I arrived, they had already been attacked by the enemy, and I found his body unconscious as it was surrounded by 12 dead adult Uchiha clan members. Hashirama asked his father why he seemed so uneasy while looking at their elder cousin. Well, my son, that boy has a complicated history. He was born to the last clan head of the Uzumaki, and from birth, the boy showed immense talents. Sukuna's name can only be spoken in high regards. My son, be careful as you speak of him, because if it is not in high regards, he will get rid of you. Also, Sukuna understands chakra in a different way than most normal warriors, and it provides him with an even greater strength. He's even developed his own jutsu at the age of 10. And at this very same age, he challenged his father for the title of clan head in front of many witnesses. Of course, his father thought lightly of it and didn't take the battle too seriously. But that was a mistake, as immediately it costed him his life. He then became the clan head shortly after, and under him, their clan surprisingly flourished even with him being so young as a leader. Well, Bootsama, what an incredible way to tell the tale of my origin to your children. Make sure they do not forget it, or my name. Now, on to even more important matters. Sukuna stands up, putting on his white robes. What is the condition of the war? Bootsama motions for Sukuna to follow him, and the two leave, heading to their clan meeting. It was with the Senju and of course the Uzumaki. Many of the Senju had never seen the new clan head, and to find out he was only a mere child. Well, that was shocking to say the least. Not only that, but when comparing his appearance to everyone else in the room from his clan, he definitely stood out. His hair was not red, but a lightened red, almost pink. The boy stands in the room not saying anything, as he walks around inspecting different things as if he owns the place. One of the elder Senju would stand up looking towards him. Show some respect, boy. The Senju, he's then cut off by Sukuna's hand on his face. Respect? You talk so highly as if you've earned my respect, and that tone of yours, you need to fix it when addressing me. Finally, that head of yours, it's held too high when in my presence. Sukuna slams the man's face down into the ground where he lies. Remember your place, vermin. Right here on the ground where you belong. Bootsama looks around the room at all the other Uzumaki to see their heads bowing, not even daring to look forward at Sukuna. Where is my spear? All the men then begin to panic, with only one responding calmly. My lord, we tried to bring it, but we could not lift it. Please forgive our weakness. Is that so? Well, the rest of you can follow me outside. You, though, you can stay in the room. I respect your honesty. They all do as told, and when they step outside, Sukuna turns to him as he uppercuts the air with his hands open as each of the men are cut into pieces. Sukuna would head back inside, sitting down with his last advisor. He rested his head on his hand while looking around. Let's begin the meeting now that all the trash is gone. Later in the day, Sukuna is seen on a walk where he spots his younger cousin Hashirama. He then saw who the boy was walking with. A black-haired boy about the same age as him. An Uchiha and a Senju as friends. How unusual, but how interesting. After the two depart from one another, the Uchiha is running forward, only to see Sukuna standing in front of him. What is your name? He tries to pull out a kunai, but Sukuna begins to spin that very same kunai around his finger. Are you looking for this? How did you... So, have a quick talk with me. I'm not one to waste my time, let alone the time of others. Sukuna vanishes, and now puts his arm around Madara's shoulder. The two decide to walk, and Madara finds out that they have a lot in common. Their goals for the future were very similar, and after a long discussion, Sukuna stands once again. Well, Madara, I'll be going. Wait, what's your name? You never told me. Ah, yes. How could I forget? Sukuna Uzumaki, clan head of the Uzumaki. Madara's heart drops upon hearing this, as he's heard many stories from his father. Sukuna was known as a ruthless leader and general for the Uzumaki clan. He kills members of his own clan without hesitation or mercy for them. After Sukuna was out of sight, Madara runs as fast as he can to avoid his own death. However, the more Madara thinks of their conversation, he came to respect Sukuna. He actually believed that this was the person that the world needed, and wouldn't even mind working right under him if it meant achieving their shared dream. Sukuna reclaims his black and silver spear and begins to head home. But as he does so, he looks around his destroyed home. He finds what was left of his parents and finds the necklace that he had given to his mother. He puts it in his pocket and begins to head back as on his way home, he's attacked by a group of Uchiha. Well, it seems it's my lucky day, and it keeps getting better and better. Sukuna begins to laugh and dodges the blade of the man while stabbing him with his spear. Now then, will the rest of you still fight, or are you cowards? They rush in, but Sukuna uses his body as a meat shield to take all their attacks. He then holds the man up to show all his blood everywhere, and it begins to stain the grass they stand on. You've served your purpose. Sukuna throws the man's body to the ground and looks forward at the others. You all are too weak, so let's make this interesting. Sukuna throws his weapon on the ground and stabs himself in the chest, missing any vital organs and ligaments. It does cause him to leak a lot of blood. Alright. There's my handicap. Now, come at me with everything you've got. You cocky brat. They all rush in, sending giant flames towards him. As they do, the boy was gone. Two of them are then impaled by chakra spears that were formed by flames. They look back at Sukuna to see the flames now surrounding his hands. Each of you are truly useless. You don't even deserve to have the name Uchiha. One of them gets up, now having the Mangekyo Sharingan within his eye. A half-body Susanoo forms in the area, and Sukuna looks up at this towering visualization of power. It slams its blades down to the ground, breaking it and sending Sukuna into the air. It then swings its second blade at him, but Sukuna grabs it, shocking the Uchiha, who calls him a monster. Chakra slowly begins to form around Sukuna, as he then is ambushed by more Uchiha. Each of them attack the best they can, while the Susanoo keeps attacking him as well. Eventually, the men can't even keep up, and the armor would fade away. Dust settles as he falls to one knee. We did it. He's finally dead. Yes, you did do something, but that wasn't it. Hearing that voice, he looked up to see Sukuna standing there with heavy injuries. You're as good as dead. There's no way you'll be able to survive all of that. Is that truly what you want to believe? Don't let those eyes of yours lie to you. They're becoming unreliable, don't you think? The man then noticed that his vision was a little blurred from overusing the Sharingan. But it's okay. I alone understand the world has only chosen me to be the one to save it. His injuries begin to heal themselves, and those around are shocked. Sukuna takes a step and kills 3 people instantly. He makes it in front of the last one, who had used a Susanoo. Barely awake, the man was completely exhausted. Oh, that's too bad. You were actually the most interesting one out of all of them. He kicks the man's head so hard that his head goes flying off his body. Sukuna goes back to the home of the Senju, and throughout many more months, he keeps meeting with Madara to discuss their plans of the future. Eventually, Hashirama and Madara are caught by their brothers and fathers. Sukuna appears and smirks. You've grown a lot, Madara. Seems you've even unlocked your Sharingan. Well done, my friend. Tobirama steps up. What do you mean by my friend? Well, me and Madara have already made plans to change the future and stop the wars like this. Isn't that right? Madara doesn't answer and tries to stab Sukuna in the neck with a kunai, only for it to break on a barrier of chakra. It still seems you have much to learn. He kicks Madara down into the water and wipes dirt from his clothing. How about we change our plans? He watches Madara come from the water and look towards Hashirama with disgust and anger. Become stronger than anyone, Madara. His father then goes to attack Sukuna, but he stops him with just one hand. You simpleton. The older man is then hit with several blows that leave him in critical condition. Sukuna walks away while waving to Madara. As he passes Tobirama, the boy attempts to attack him. Quickly, his father grabs him and begged for forgiveness of Sukuna, who would then keep walking, ignoring them. Over the years, Sukuna studies more and more. He wants to obtain a higher level and understanding of chakra, to something that he calls pure chakra. This ability, or state of power, allows him to manipulate his own chakra in any way he sees fit without the use of hand signs. Years begin to pass, and then on a battlefield, Tobirama kills Izuna. And that night, the eyes of his younger brother were given to him. Madara held him dear and wished that this world wasn't so cruel. But he takes the eyes to complete his own dream, and as he opens them, they have a new pattern. Someone then speaks. Well, old friend, it seems you've become even stronger, but you still are weak, and you won't be able to beat Hashirama. Wait, where did you come from? I've always been here, in the shadows, watching the Senju and the Uzumaki and the Uchiha fight. I pull the strings. I test you and push you to your very limits. You could say I'm the reason for this strength you have. But forget that. Let's say, as of what's going on right now, I'm bored. Your future, though, it's already been sealed, as the next battle with Hashirama may very well be your last. You do not get to decide that, Sukuna. Madara is then sent through walls by him, but he tries to use a jutsu, and he can't. He then notices he's in complete darkness and tries to break this genjutsu. Suddenly, a shrine would appear, and Sukuna sits on top with a skull in his hands. This is far more than just a simple illusion. This realm is as I wish it to be. Madara then watches the world go back to normal, as the timeline would continue on for a bit, with some minor changes, but nothing crazy to go over. Sukuna is the one here to capture all the tail beasts and make them his pets, but Hashirama is the one to steal them from him and distribute them to different villages in order to maintain the peace of the world. Eventually, Madara does leave the village. However, someone else returns. In the home of Hashirama, Sukuna stood looking out of a window. The first Hokage comes home shocked to see Sukuna there, holding a spear. "How did you enter this village?" "I simply walked through the gate. How else?" "Now, tell me something. It seems you somehow lead both the Senju and the Uzumaki." "I'd like to lead my clan once again, as I've done enough journeying for one lifetime. But maybe in the next I'll do some more. And I'd like a wife of my own to bear me a child, one strong enough to uphold my legacy." Tobirama tries to sneak attack Sukuna, but is defeated instantly, and now Sukuna sits on him while still talking to Hashirama. "Well, if you can't meet my demands, then this piece of yours and this village, well, it's all doomed. Go take a look." Hashirama walks back outside to see a giant rock falling from the skies. There's no way even I can stop that." Hashirama is forced to agree, and Sukuna blows it to nothing but dust. Many years pass as a battle is going on between Hashirama and Madara. Sukuna returns home from another long mission to find it destroyed and his wife dead. He looks for his son in the rubble but can't find any trace of him. Hopefully his guards and attendants have got him somewhere safe. While tending to the wounds of his dead wife trying to revive her, he's stabbed in his back. "You die tonight as well." Sukuna ignores this message and smirks, turning around to see a familiar face. "Tobirama, I should have known." Sukuna sends him flying back and picks up his wife, giving her a proper burial with a sword still implanted into his chest. He then takes off his own necklace and holds it up to the moonlight in the sky. I'll return back to the physical world once a suitable host for my power is born. Their blood must be of my own descent. He fully seals himself away in this necklace as his advisor arrives at the scene and takes the necklace away back to the Uzumaki village, as it will be passed down from generation to generation. Sukuna has gone from a physical human form to now having the same presence and form as a tailed beast. Eventually, his son, who had escaped just barely, has children, and they do the same as they keep passing down the necklace. This leads to a young girl named Kushina Uzumaki, and then finally to our protagonist, Naruto. The necklace is put on Naruto once he is born, only for this time, it reacts. It glows around the baby's neck, and then it vanishes. Kushina, who was just barely alive, explains this to Minato, and the fourth Hokage seals the beast inside of himself, believing Sukuna will use its power for his own game. The two pass away, with Sukuna smiling while creating a domain inside of this child. He sits upon a throne and lays back. Now, I shall wait just a little bit longer. Time passes on, as we get to a 12-year-old Naruto, with him running through the village while pulling pranks. This one, yeah, it's gonna be my biggest one yet. Naruto paints the Hokage stone faces, and is shouted at by the villagers. He smirks, jumping off of the ropes and swinging into the streets. Many try to chase him, but his speed is insane for a child that age. He gets around a corner where he's then captured by Iruka, who takes him back to the academy tied up. The man begins to lecture and scold Naruto on becoming a shinobi. Why should I? It will make your father proud, Naruto. Naruto then uses his strength to rip through the rope, shocking his teacher. Naruto's bloodlust also slowly creeps out, choking Iruka. Why would I make a man who abandoned me so proud? I don't even know him. Naruto begins to walk away and Iruka grabs his shoulder. The older man is sent out of the window by Naruto, who then runs off. The next day, Naruto actually goes to school just because he was bored enough. Many whisper about him, but he doesn't care at all. When Iruka arrives, Naruto goes to sleep and he wakes up during a lecture about chakra control. Oh great, I woke up. This is so boring. Actually, I'm leaving. Naruto grabs his bag, which had nothing in it, and walks down the steps, leading Iruka to asking him what he was doing. I'm leaving. This is boring me. Iruka then asks him to show the class how advanced he is. I don't feel like showing off to a bunch of losers who don't even care about me. They talk behind my back anyway. The class then erupts, making fun of Naruto, saying he can't do it anyway. Naruto throws a kunai, shattering the window, and walks over to it. You all talk down on me, as if I couldn't kill all of us right now. In Naruto's hand formed a ball of flames with wind surrounding it. He throws it out of the window and into the sky. They all watch it go higher and higher, up into the clouds, where it explodes, sending shockwaves all around Konoha. Naruto then jumps right out of the window and goes back to the Hokage stone faces because he has to wash off the paint. That night, while Naruto was sitting on one of the stone faces, he sees Mitsuki Sensei taking the scroll from the Hokage's building. Well then, it looks like there actually is something to do. Naruto jumps from the head of the Kage and chases after his sensei. Mizuki watches Naruto dash right past him, and instantly he's hit in the stomach. What an interesting scroll you got. Let's see. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, Edo Tensei, Reaper Death Seal, Flying Raijin, Rasengan. Oh, here's a cool name. And Uzumaki Flame Jutsu. Well, looks like you've made my night. Here, catch. Naruto throws the scroll back and Mizuki grabs it, only to now see Naruto's fingertips pressed against his chest. Flames surround his hand as his sensei is struck with overwhelming fear. Naruto performs a 1-inch punch, but this is much different than the regular technique. The flames that float around his fist transfer to the spot where he had struck, and that area is incinerated. This leaves a gaping hole in his chest, causing him to fall to the ground. Danzo sees this with his Anbu and is shocked. On record, it states that this child is talentless and failing the academy. Yet, he is one of the most impressive warriors in combat that he's seen. It just can't be. He then gains a closer look at Naruto's face to see that he had strange markings and tattoos, as his teeth, they're also sharp right now. This look on Naruto would slowly fade away, but Danzo wouldn't forget it. Naruto twists and turns, now hearing a voice call to him. Follow me. Naruto goes without a second thought, as if he was being commanded. The voice leads him to a secluded area where he's told to make a shadow clone. Naruto does so, and then sees this clone had strange tattoos. Wow, that's more like it. But this form and this body, it truly doesn't suit me at all right now. The transformation jutsu is performed, and Sukuna's original form is now present. So, you're the brat who my soul has chosen. Well, I'll allow your head to be raised in my presence. Wait, who are you? Sukuna kicks Naruto to the ground and puts his foot on his head. I am your king, you foolish child. Sukuna Uzumaki, the one true ruler of the Whirlpool Village in the Uzumaki clan. Naruto breaks the hold and kicks the clone, but it's blocked. After this, Naruto lands a punch. There. Now we're even. Sukuna laughs this off while looking down at the child. Let me explain the history between us, as I know you're confused. Listen well, as I do not like to repeat myself. Sukuna sits down with Naruto and explains his origin and the many battles that he's fought in. However, he leaves out the details of his death and evolution into a creature made of chakra. The two go into Naruto's apartment the next day, and the next morning, Naruto is called into the Hokage's office. He's given a shinobi headband, which shocks him, but Hiruzen thanks him for dealing with a traitor in their village. Before he can leave, someone else enters the room. Sukuna smirks and picks up Naruto by his hair. Ow, that hurts. Shut up, you brat. You look scared, Hokage. Wait a minute. You're that prodigy child trained by Lord Second. It's impressive that someone like you is now a Kage. And at that age, too. You're quite old. Well, the true king of the Uzumaki has returned, so I'd like to make some orders. First, this child is my heir, so he will be treated as such. He should be given better living conditions and more funds each month. The Hokage's grandson then burst into the room, shouting he can't boss around his grandfather. Don't be silly, you child. There is no one in this village who can even land a killing blow on me now that I'm back. Not even Hashirama himself could have beaten me in a fair fight. But it seems many have forgotten how truly terrifying I can be. So let me remind you, Hiruzen. He picks up Konohamaru, but Naruto stops him. Get out of my way. Naruto instead appears right in front of Hiruzen, stabbing him in his shoulder. There, now leave the child alone. I like your style, boy. But let's go do something about those atrocious clothes. They do not suit you at all. After Naruto's outfit is changed to that of white and red robes, he is taken to a training area by Sukuna. I will not allow you to become a shinobi as you are now. You need training in order to become a successful heir. You may be the strongest child your age, but that is just the beginning. You have my blood flowing through you, but you need to surpass even that. For an entire week, Sukuna puts Naruto through a hellish training regimen. It pushes the young child to his very limits, mentally and physically. In just this short amount of time, Naruto had undergone a complete transformation. Those few days felt like months of training to the boy because of how much he had accomplished. Team 7 finally has their first official meeting, where Kakashi introduces himself to the team. Each student has their own introduction, so they can all become familiar with one another, but each of them feels Naruto's presence, as it's overwhelming. Kakashi tells them where to meet up the next day, and as Sasuke begins to walk away, Naruto tells his team to follow his lead tomorrow, if they actually want to pass that test. The two ask what he means, but Naruto walks away, as if a king should repeat himself to someone much lower than himself. The next morning, both Naruto and Kakashi are late to the area. The bell test begins, but none of the students hide. Well, Sasuke, do you plan to follow me in order to get those bells? It depends on what you have in mind, Naruto. Alright, let's go then. Naruto runs forward with Sasuke behind him. He extends his palm towards Kakashi, creating flames that burst out with great speeds. Wait, he didn't even need to use hand signs? Kakashi dodges this attack, but is hit with a furious taijutsu combo from Sasuke and then Naruto, who joins him. It seems whatever Sasuke is lacking Naruto makes up for it tenfold. The two land multiple strikes that push their sensei back. Not bad, you two, but it'll take more than that. Trust me, I know. That's why I've made my own preparations. Naruto looks at Sasuke and grabs him by the head. Chakra bursts from their bodies and blinds Sakura and Kakashi. The young Uchiha opens his eyes once again, now having his Sharingan reawakened. There. You should actually be able to help me grab those bells now. Kakashi makes electricity shoot towards them, but Naruto blocks it with his bare hands. It completely burns off Naruto's skin, but he heals it. Lightning, huh? I want to give that one a try. Naruto makes a lightning bolt form in his hand, with everyone standing in shock. No, I don't think that's it. How about this instead? Naruto then makes bolts of lightning rain down upon his sensei, sending him off balance. The ground below him is destroyed, as he doesn't have any time to react because Sasuke sends him flying with a punch. He still blocks it, but he's still sent flying. That strength. He didn't have it just a second ago. What could Naruto have done to him? This battle is over, Kakashi. From the shadows, Naruto walks right by while holding the bells. He tosses one to his teammate, and Kakashi stands there in defeat. When did you do that? I don't owe answers to you. Anyway, I'm going home for the day. When Naruto hears his team is going on lower ranked missions, he just sends a clone instead of going himself. While they do that for a couple weeks, Naruto keeps undergoing his hellish training with Sukuna. This proves to benefit Naruto in more ways than one. Eventually, Sasuke gets tired of this and decides to ask for a higher ranked mission. Team 7 heads to the Hokage's building and gets the bridge builder mission. As they step into the room, Tazuna was already there. However, Naruto's clone was taken over by Sukuna, who assumes his original form. Seems you have forgotten about our deal, old man. I should kill you for my heir sleeping in such poverty. So, I'll give you one more chance, since I'm feeling generous. When Naruto returns from this mission, he will be in better living conditions, or the leaf will no longer have a Kage. Tazuna, drunk as ever, states to the Hokage that this man is wasting his time. That child can't be this important to make a big fuss over. Sukuna stands straight up and walks over towards Tazuna. Kakashi and Hiruzen try to stop him, but they're petrified by his bloodlust. Sukuna stabs the man in his shoulder with the blade of chakra. Consider that a warning for talking down on him. You aren't even worth the ramen the child shits out, and remember that. Sukuna backhands the drunk man into the wall, knocking him out. The man then vanishes, and Naruto is seen being tortured by Sukuna. Physically, nothing was happening, but mentally, Naruto was going through worse than the infinite Tsukuyomi. Naruto breaks the fake world as he falls down to the ground sweating. He was blindfolded still, and then was kicked. Naruto managed to get back up after this kick, and Sukuna commends him. Now, let's see how you fight, when even sight isn't an option for you. Sukuna raises his hand, and compressed wind smacks his body over and over again. So much so that it leaves bruises on his body. Feel the chakra, Naruto. It flows throughout this world. Grab hold of it and force it into submission. Everything in this world was made for us, so help me take it from those who have it now. Naruto keeps getting hit, and eventually he stops one of the attacks. Naruto was holding the small blast of wind and somehow crushed it within his palm. Good. Now keep going. If you can't fight at your best even when you're tired like this, then there's nothing you can do to change this world. The night fell quickly, and the next day Naruto greeted his team. Well, he was excited. The sun was beaming down on the leaf, as he was more ready than ever to take on this mission. He meets them at the gate, of course, and Tazuna looks down at Naruto with disgust, only to be glared at by the boy. The team heads out and stumbles across puddles in the ground. Naruto stops walking and looks down into them, and electricity surges from around his 2 fingers in each hand as he shoots it into the puddles. 2 people then emerge from the puddles shaking in pain. Naruto still doesn't stop the currents of lightning flowing from his body into theirs as they beg for their lives. Tell me what life means to you then. Do you value it enough to be a slave for my will? Each Miss Ninja wonders what he meant by this, and Naruto just stabs them. You took too long to answer me, so I assume they're worthless. Naruto pulls his hands out of their bodies, and Sakura throws up from all the blood. Sasuke then wonders where this power comes from. Naruto seems even stronger, as if he was the embodiment of strength. Maybe, just maybe, if I follow him, I'll be able to avenge my clan. The Uzumaki and the Uchiha will become allies for the future. Kakashi places his hand on Naruto's shoulder, asking what he was doing, but the boy pushes him off. Don't touch me. Naruto then keeps walking forward, and as they travel, Tazuna questions Kakashi about this. Even the sensei doesn't have an answer, or any idea what to call it. He simply states, Naruto is an explosion, waiting to go off at any moment. Once off the boat, Naruto feels the strength of someone worth engaging in battle. He jumps forward, running alone, and comes into contact with the demon of the mist. Get out of my way, brat. You're not my target, so there's no sense in you dying. Zabuza then quickly ducks under a kunai from Naruto and sends a knee into the boy's forearm. He's fast, clearly much more skilled than the people who he's with. But what's that overwhelming pressure coming from inside him? He's watching my every move, as if he can predict my movements. I'll make sure to end this quickly, so he doesn't get to try whatever he's planning. Zabuza dashes forward, swinging his blade, and Naruto dodges and counters by landing a solid punch to his chest. He flips over the man, and then swings down his leg as well. Zabuza stops Naruto's leg, and then dodges a blow from a clone. When did he create a clone? Zabuza, not paying attention, is struck by a fist of Naruto that sends him flying onto some water where he would stand up, as the Miss Ninja looks at the boy who slowly began to walk towards him. You think this fight is going in your favor, don't you? Well, let's see how you handle this, boy. A water dragon arises and launches straight down at Naruto. In response, the boy creates a flame dragon that bursted through the liquid serpent and gives Zabuza high-degree burns. Naruto was seen running at him to finish off the job until Needle struck the man's neck. He falls over and Naruto sighs. Great, someone stole my kill. Sukuna's gonna be pissed. Team 7 catches up to Naruto to see what had happened as they watch the masked man take the body of Zabuza. The group then makes it to the home of Tazuna, where Kakashi begins their training. However, Naruto goes out on his own and summons Sukuna. The man looks down at his vessel and smirks. You've grown quite arrogant. How could you let him get away? Sukuna grabs Naruto by the face and pushes him into some water. The boy begins to drown in panic as Sukuna throws Naruto's face into a tree and tells him to get ready. Either give this training your all, or I'll kill both of you, as I assume you want me to train him as well. This is when Sasuke walks from behind a tree, and both of the guineas smirk as they run towards the king of Uzumaki. After their training, each of them is completely exhausted, so both are late to the bridge the next morning after helping Tazuna's family kill the bandits within their home. Sasuke and Naruto arrive to see Kakashi being overwhelmed by Haku and Zabuza. Sasuke kicks Haku back while Naruto stabs his hand into Zabuza's chest. Naruto throws Zabuza to the side like trash and walks forward. Haku then ignores Sasuke and dashes towards Naruto. I'll kill you for Lord Zabuza. His death will be avenged. Ice comes right at Naruto, who dodges on instinct. Haku gets even closer, only to have ice spikes shoot through his own chest and hold him above the water. Just, how were you able to do this? Naruto then shatters the ice, causing the body of Haku to then fall into the water below the bridge. Gato and his men soon arrive, and Naruto sits back on steel pipes. Go ahead, Sasuke. You can have this one all to yourself. Sakura then turns to Naruto. What do you mean? We have to help him. If you want to help him so bad, go do it yourself. Oh wait, you can't, because you're simply too useless. You don't have any good qualities besides being a meat shield to the attacks that come at us. Maybe, instead of being a damsel in distress, you work on becoming an actual shinobi. That headband you have doesn't mean shit, as you don't even have the strength to back it up. Naruto then lays back on the steel pipes, watching Sasuke and Kakashi take down the men on the bridge all by themselves, with actually little difficulty at all, even though they were highly outnumbered. The bridge is later finished and named after Naruto. Team 7 heads back, and during their journey, Sakura begins to get serious, even about her own training. Her sensei could even see it in her eyes, as she desires to become stronger. They return to the Leaf Village, where Naruto and Sukuna keep up their training for the next couple of days. Naruto and his team are then called to a meeting by their sensei, as this is where they sign up for the Chunin exams. Seeing as they only have another week to prepare, Naruto heads from the village without being spotted to further his training. Sukuna makes sure he gives absolutely no rest. He wants Naruto to truly become a weapon for destruction, just like himself. The two return on the first day of the exams, heading to the testing building, where the written test was said to take part. Naruto isn't tricked by the genjutsu placed on the room, so he's actually the first to make it to the real testing room. He sits down and awaits for others to walk in. Many stare at him, wondering how he made it here so quickly, as Naruto sits back in his chair, looking around. If you have a problem with me, we can settle it right now. It's clear to me I'm the best in this room, as none of you can do anything about it. The boy then feels a hand on his shoulder, just wondering who dares to touch him in this moment. He turns, seeing Gaara standing there, looking down upon him. Naruto then stands, making eye contact with him. You dare lay your filthy hands on me? I'm gonna be the one to kill you, so it doesn't really matter. Don't make me laugh, you freak. I wouldn't lose to you even if I fought you with one arm, and we can bet on that. They take the written test, and Naruto listens to Sukuna for the answer, since he would know all of them. Next came the Forest of Death, which gave Naruto a weird feeling. It's almost as if it called out to him. Not only that, listening to the rules, he could feel this ominous feeling within his body, as if someone was watching him. No, not even him. Someone was watching the entire Team 7 very closely. Their team then heads into the forest later and runs into a sound team. Naruto and Sasuke make quick work of them and take their scroll. However, Naruto wonders where their third member was lurking. This was a 2-on-3 battle, so of course it was easy. But where was the last person hiding? Naruto and Sasuke then jumped out of the way and then had to block a punch from Orochimaru. Who the hell are you? I could ask you the same thing, kid. As Naruto goes to attack, he loses control of his body. I'll be taking over from here, brat. Sukuna then stretches his arms while in Naruto's body and blocks a sword strike from Orochimaru. Attacking a king is reckless, especially if you do not have the preparations in order. Orochimaru is blitzed by Sukuna and left completely messed up. His jaw and left arm were already dislocated. Not only that, but he was bleeding with cuts all over his body. Just, what did you do to me? Sukuna places his foot on the head of the snake Sanin. Looks like I really did a number on that arm of yours. Here, let me help you out a little bit more. He grabs his left arm and rips it off as Sukuna begins beating Orochimaru to death with his own appendage. The snake Sanin regurgitates a new body and heads right for Sasuke. As he leaves the curse mark on the boy's neck, he turns back to Sukuna. I've finally figured out who you are. The king of Uzumaki. Sukuna. A ruthless leader indeed. But how could you escape death? And how are you here in this time? That's for me to know, and for you to never find out. Sukuna goes to attack, but a smokescreen clouds his vision, and he falls to one knee. This weakling's body is truly pissing me off. Even with all the training we've done, he can only maintain my power for mere minutes. How pitiful. Sukuna falls unconscious, and the body transforms back into Naruto. Sakura hides both their bodies from the enemy's sight, but another sound team arrives attacking her. A girl grabs her by her hair, but she reacts, actually using an Earth-style jutsu to separate the two of them from her. The other two then rush in, but in an instant, Naruto and Sasuke block their attacks. Each of them somehow stronger than they were before they fell asleep. Sasuke now gained the power of the curse mark while also using a Sharingan, while Naruto has learned to control a small fraction of Sukuna's power while diving into his subconscious. His eyes go from blue to red, as Sasuke's eyes were already red. Each takes down their opponent, leaving them fatally wounded. After defeating their foes, the boys turned to one another. Each had an intense malice that was now present within their hearts. One thought went through both their minds at the same time. I'll show him who's really the strongest on our team. Naruto and Sasuke begin engaging in combat, and both land a punch on each other. Using the Sharingan, Sasuke was able to see through some of Naruto's strikes, but Naruto's speed and knowledge put him far above Sasuke. This small fraction of power he gained was much more than he had realized, and it was much more than he needed to beat Sasuke of all people. All of this leads to Naruto landing a critical strike against his, I can't even call him friend here, his opponent, knocking him out and knocking the power of the curse mark out of him as he falls to the ground. Naruto then stood over him after winning. As we go inside his soul to see Sukuna standing over him, it feels good, doesn't it, to subject a weakling to your own will. Don't forget that feeling, as that is what it means to truly be a king in this world. Naruto wakes up, noticing his power was fading from his body. Let's go. We don't want to be the last ones there. Team 7 makes it to the tower and waits for the rest of the teams to show up. The Hokage realizes that there's still way too many people left, so they host the preliminary matches first. Each member in Team 7's squad wins their fight, as it's not even a contest due to their training. Now, they were given more time to prepare for the final matches of the Chunin exams that will determine their future rank as shinobi. With so much on the line, Naruto knew what he needed to do. He was walking away towards a training area, and this is when he ran into a strange man. You need to watch where you're going, kid. Yeah, as if. Maybe you shouldn't be walking my way. Your arrogance, it will be your downfall one day. Hearing this, Naruto turns to the white-haired man, punching him in the chest. Jiraiya's vision becomes blurred, and he coughs up blood from just this one strike. He looks back up at Naruto, and for a moment, he loses control. He forms a Rasengan in his palm, slamming the S-rank jutsu into Naruto's body. The dust settles, and it shows Naruto caught the attack with his bare hand and begins to regenerate it. Not bad. Well, if I were you, I would have done it like this. Naruto forms his own Rasengan, sending Jiraiya flying back into some trees as he lays there defeated on the ground and is later found by the Hokage. For the rest of the month, Naruto trains with Sukuna to develop his strength even further. Naruto here is much more focused on his utilization of the Rasengan and Ice Release. He seems to have the most fun when using these frost-like abilities, and the Chunin exams would continue soon, but Sasuke isn't there to start his battle with Neji. So instead, Shikamaru has his own match where he would give up. And still, The young Uchiha isn't there, so Naruto jumped down for his own match. As soon as he did so, Kakashi and Sasuke arrived in a flashy style. Late as ever, I see, but that's better than nothing, I guess. You better win, though. The battle would begin between both boys from high-ranking clans as they each activate their dojutsu. Sasuke runs at Neji with immense speed, slamming his fist into his side. After, he appears on his other side doing the same thing. Neji turns his head to block, but Sasuke disappears, as suddenly, he's sent into the air by a kick. Fire style, fireball barrage. While falling down from the sky, Neji is forced to do his best to cut through each one of them, with chakra coating his fist. Burns are then seen upon his fingertips once he lands, but they have no effect on his battle morale. Sasuke then copies the speed of Rock Lee to completely overwhelm Neji, who can't do anything but tank the hits, as Sasuke prepares to end this fight using the Chidori. As Neji believes, this is far from over. So, in the moment of need, he performs a 360 palm rotation, sending Sasuke flying onto his back. He wipes blood from his mouth and looks forward to see the Hyuga taunting him. You might as well stay right there where you belong, in the dirt, like the rest of your clan. Hearing this, Sasuke snaps and begins to use the power of the curse mark. All his physical stats increase, and Sasuke blitzes Neji, slamming his fist into his stomach. Speak of my clan again, in that manner, and I'll make sure we become very similar. Sasuke dodges a palm strike and sends Neji flying into the stadium wall. I'm so over this. Chidori. Sasuke runs forward, going to finish the job, but the Hyuga was already knocked out, and no one was fast enough to make it there in time, and the attack lands, blinding those watching. The light slowly goes away, and all those are shocked to see Naruto's shoulder is impaled. Not half bad, but you can thank me later. Sasuke Uchiha is declared the winner of this match, and now it was Naruto going to fight Gaara. Inside him, Sukuna tells the boy that he's facing a Jinchuriki. So, show him what true power actually looks like. The fight begins, and Naruto dodges sand. With one hand raised, ice pillars form from the ground and stab into Gaara's body, forming a snowflake that suspended him into the air. Naruto slowly walks forward and gets right in front of the sand Jinchuriki, placing a hand to his chest. Inside of Gaara, where his soul resides, Naruto was seen walking towards it. The one-tailed Shukaku appeared, defending the soul, but even this isn't enough, as Naruto takes a piece of it, combining it with his own. This is damage that cannot be repaired. Gaara's life force starts to fade away, with his soul now missing partially. This then leads to the leaf being attacked by the sound and the sand villages. Orochimaru goes to attack Hiruzen, but Naruto cuts off the heads of his snakes and kicks him to a rooftop. The boy then makes a clone, where Sukuna takes over. Orochimaru's heart drops seeing the man in robes, but he's then hit by a Rasengan from Naruto. Alright, I'll be heading off now. Naruto then goes off to fight the Sound Four, defeating them with ease and starting to torture them. They would quickly make a diversion and run off, as per orders from Orochimaru. Back with him, Sukuna was completely embarrassing him. The signing was strong, but he couldn't even call what he was witnessing strength. This was almost godlike in his eyes. Orochimaru reveals his trump card by summoning the first and second Hokage. You must have not done any research on me. I've beaten both Madara and Hashirama in combat. These two are nothing to me. Cheap replicas of the real thing. Sukuna almost becomes infuriated seeing the face of Tobirama and completely disregards the Hashirama. He smashes the Edo Tensei of the second Hokage into the ground, as this shakes the leaf as if it was an earthquake. Sukuna does this until it's completely gone, as trees burst from the ground below him, but all of them are burned, alongside Hashirama himself. Sukuna looks around as Orochimaru has already escaped. What a coward. He sits down upon this rooftop, watching Naruto walk through the leaf, destroying any shinobi that come his way. What a child. He's truly grown, but even this isn't enough to complete my plans. After the attack is over, the leaf begins rebuilding, as Shikamaru, Sasuke, and Naruto are promoted to the rank of Chunin. Naruto is then called into the office by the third Hokage, where he's given a mission to retrieve the next Hokage, Lady Tsunade. In a different part of the Leaf Village, two strange men in robes enter and are confronted by the Konoha sensei. Naruto and Jiraiya had already headed out, with Jiraiya being bandaged up from their last battle. The two don't speak, as Jiraiya would then ask Naruto if he ever wanted to become the Hokage. The boy scoffs. I wouldn't dare waste my time in an office like that. Instead, I will become the next king of Uzumaki. Jiraiya's heart drops hearing this, remembering stories from Lord Third that he had told him as a child about Sukuna. Now that he thinks about it, Naruto's pink hair, it could mean the two of them are connected, which would explain his monstrous strength. They check into a hotel where Naruto is then left alone. Someone knocks on the door, and Naruto can sense that these are two people who he does not know. Itachi and Kisame are separated instantly on two sides of the room by ice. Itachi stood on one side, hearing his younger brother call out to him. And now, Naruto looked at Kisame, prepared to fight as well. Naruto grabs him and hits him with a new attack. Sand wraps around his body as it chains him to the wall. Naruto then sits down watching him struggle and cuts his body. Why are you here? I'm gonna kill you when I'm free. Wrong answer. Kisame then has a hole put through his chest. The rogue shinobi coughs up blood, and Naruto begins to laugh. Oh man, you really are pitiful. Why don't you do something about it? Watching you struggle is kind of amusing actually. So how about we make this more fun? Naruto prepares a Rasengan in his hand, but the ice is then broken as he's forced to dodge an attack from Itachi while releasing the Rasengan. The Uchiha grabs Kisame and escapes the building. He's barely alive, and Naruto doesn't think he's actually going to survive, but maybe he will. Naruto would look through the hole in the ice to see Sasuke passed out on the ground. Great. I thought he would have won that battle. I did even up the odds for him after all. Naruto makes a clone that takes Sasuke back to the Leaf's hospital, and Jiraiya arrives with some girl on his shoulder. What the hell were you doing? No, Jiraiya, what the hell are you doing? Naruto then kills the woman on his shoulder, telling him to come with them as they have a mission to do, and he's wasting time trying to reproduce. Eventually, the two find Tsunade drunk in a restaurant, where she starts trying to provoke Jiraiya. She tries to do it on Naruto, but doesn't work at all. Naruto completely ignores her presence, until she makes fun of his hair. This is where he states it's a symbol of his power, as only one other Uzumaki had this color. Oh yeah, who? He must be unknown. Actually, he's the one who defeated your grandfather, Sukuna Uzumaki. Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Shizune are shocked to hear that name. She calls his bluff, but Naruto scoffs, standing up. I would never bluff about that. He's my great-grandfather. He stands up and then motions for her to follow him. If you truly don't believe me, then I'll just show you, as I'll wipe the floor with you in battle, as he's done with Hashirama. The drunk woman gets up, heading outside to fight the child. Naruto rushes her with the Rasengan in his hands as she cracks the ground below him. Naruto then appears right in front of her, with strange tattoos upon his face, and Tsunade sits up from a bed. It was already the next morning. Did she really lose that easily? Jiraiya then explains what happens, as she goes to meet with Orochimaru after. The battle begins and Naruto completely demolishes Kabuto, as it isn't even a competition at all. Seeing this, Orochimaru saved a student and would escape from the area. The group returns home where Tsunade is promoted to the rank of Hokage, and Naruto is actually promoted one more time to an even higher rank. She's seen his strength firsthand and believes the only rank he could have is Jonin. Naruto heads to the rooftop. Well, no. He heads to the hospital, where Sasuke had woken up from the infinite Tsukuyomi. He watches the pink-haired girl have the food slapped out of her hands. He laughs at this, and Sasuke stands up, grabbing him by his collar. This is where the Uchiha challenge the Uzumaki. They head to the rooftop, where Sakura begs them to stop, but this does nothing at all. Naruto summons a small pouch, well actually two, that will go on each of his sides. As he watches Sasuke rush him, sand pours from the bag and slams Sasuke to the ground, beginning to squeeze him. Luckily, he still had access to his hands, so he performed the fireball jutsu to escape. After he does so, Naruto had disappeared and reappeared right behind him. He goes to strike to finish the battle, but Kakashi redirects his hand and Sasuke falls to his knees, holding his chest. What the hell was that? He turns back, and he tunes out the voices of Kakashi and Naruto with his own. He was really going to kill me. Did he really get that much stronger than me in a short amount of time? How long was I asleep? Sasuke heads from the rooftop back to his room, and at night, the Sound 3 appears. The reason for only 3 of them is because in their last battle, Jirobo was killed by Naruto. Sasuke heads out with them, and Sakura tries to stop him as usual. Even with her training, she was still knocked out by him, as the next morning she bursted into Naruto's room. What do you want now? Sasuke left the village. So? What do I have to do with that? But he left to go find Orochimaru. Okay, and? Naruto then looks at her. He's abandoning us. And if he wants to, let him leave. The voice of Sukuna is then heard in the room. Come on, brat. I want to finally kill that snake. So, let's use the Uchiha as bait. I guess I'll go then. You owe me one though, Sukuna. Naruto assembles his team, as the only one who doesn't agree to come is Neji, because of his hatred for his loss against the Uchiha. They head out, and each member of the team takes on an opponent. Naruto still ends up fighting Kimimaro, and dodges the bone blades. In this moment, he does the same thing as he did with Gaara, as now, he heads off to catch up with Sasuke. The Uchiha turns around, using stage 2 of his curse mark, but Naruto lands one punch that completely knocks him out of it. He punches Sasuke again and again, causing more damage. And then, Sasuke lays on the ground with a blurred vision, cursing Naruto for his power. This is when Orochimaru and his reinforcements arrive to the scene. Naruto sees a girl with red hair, and then points to her. How about we make a deal? I'll hand over this loser if you give me that girl. Orochimaru pauses for a moment, wondering who was making the deal. If it was Naruto making it, it may work, but what if Sukuna disregards it and then kills them all? Orochimaru then looks down to his left to see that the girl isn't there anymore, as now Naruto has both Sasuke and Karin. As he prepares to leave, he hears a voice in his head. It was Ino Yamanaka. Naruto, we need your help near the village. The Sand are attacking us again, and Lee is surrounded. Seeing this confusion now on his face, Sasuke breaks free and runs to Orochimaru, who creates another diversion, getting away. Instead, Naruto then runs away with the unconscious girl on his shoulder. Well, I hope they can manage until I make it back. Rock Lee, Shikamaru, and Choji stood, surrounded by shinobi, as Tamari sends an enormous wind tornado towards them to kill them, but it's instantly destroyed. Damn. It's about time, Naruto. Shikamaru then sits back. The boy would arrive, throwing the girl to Rock Lee, who seemed to be the most, the one who had the most energy. Take her to my home. Here's the location. Naruto hands Lee a paper and a key as he would vanish from the area. Now, back to the rest of you weaklings. Tattoos appeared on Naruto's body as he blitzed everyone around them. Blood and guts fly into the air as Naruto kills each of them with ice, bones, and sand. Naruto is thrown into the air by Tamari's wind, but flips while airborne to look down at her. Let's end this. A giant ice arrow forms in the sky, with flames swirling around it. The heat from these flames are so immense that those on ground level begin to sweat intensely. The arrow shoots down, causing an explosion, as Shikamaru and Choji watch as the crater is formed and ice instantly breaks out of it. Naruto lands in front of them and begins heading back to the village with them. He goes to his apartment, walking in to see Lee dodging the adamantium chains of Karin. Naruto dashes in front of him, taking about 4 chains to his body. Blood pours from his shoulder and chest as he looks back at the girl. You can go, Lee. Thanks. Naruto looks back at her, asking her for her name. She tells Naruto, but then stabs him again. Well, I guess that's a plus. Pretty hostile. Anyway, how does it sound to become mine? Are you crazy? You kidnapped me. I don't even know who you are. Well, I can always show you better than I can tell you. Naruto places her in a genjutsu, where she sees the vision that the boy has for the future. She walks around in the new world that Naruto wishes to create. The Uzumaki clan is restored and even stronger than ever, with Naruto as their ruler. She wakes up crying as Naruto stands above her. He throws off his shirt and begins to regenerate the holes in his body while putting on some more robes. Ah, that's much better. Now, it's time for me to introduce you to the true king. Hearing this, on instinct, she bows her head to the ground. Are you speaking of Sukuna? Naruto nods. I'm glad you know your place. He'll enjoy that. Sukuna takes over his body and looks down at the girl. He grabs her face, making her look at him. Well done, brat. She'll make a good wife. Now, where are the rest of you? We split up around the land of fire. I come from the division that was destroyed in the west, but there still exists an east, south, and north division. Good. Now, you'll be given a new mission. Sukuna teleports to the office of the Hokage while holding the girl over his shoulders. Train her, or I'll kill you. Sukuna then looks at Jiraiya in the room. I have a separate mission for you. I wish to find the eyes of Madara Uchiha. A child. No, he should be an adult by now. There is an Uzumaki in the world that possesses those eyes. However, they should no longer be that of the Sharingan, as they have evolved to something much greater. Hearing this, Jiraiya and Tsunade had one child in their mind. Nagato. Seeing their hesitation, Sukuna smirked. So, you've already met this child. Good. Then that makes things much easier for me. Those eyes are not for him to wield. Not even Madara deserves them. Those eyes are only fit for a king. Sukuna and Jiraiya leave the office to discuss more of Nagato and where he could be. As Sukuna feels Naruto trying to switch, he greets him in their shared domain. Chains bind the boy to skulls in the ground, as he shouts for Sukuna to switch back with them. Sorry, but that won't be happening. You've already done all the hard work for me. Now it's time for me to complete what I've always dreamed of. Sukuna walks further and further away with Naruto shouting out. On the outside, Naruto becomes taller, and his hair a darker version of pink, as Sukuna undergoes, his half transformation within the boy's body. As Jiraiya asked when they would switch back, but Sukuna laughed while walking away. The Sannin placed his hand on his shoulder, only to get 3 ribs broken by the king. Sukuna walks away, as half a year would pass. Sukuna and Karin leave the village and search for the rest of the Uzumaki. They first head to the east branch, which was hidden by a waterfall. They head inside the cave. They see a village or small town of Uzumaki living together. Many of them turn, seeing Sukuna. Feeling this overwhelming presence, they bow instantly. Good. Now gather your things and prepare to come with me. It's time to revive our village. Karin, assist those who are injured and sick so we can prepare to leave as soon as possible. She nods and goes to help them, while Sukuna turns back to the waterfall. It intrigues him. It's radiating some sort of pure energy. He sits down in it while meditating, and Naruto appears right in front of him on a separate rock. Naruto looks down to see he's somehow back, but this isn't even the real world. He has to escape from this separate dimension somehow. You're thinking too slow. Sukuna then rips off his arm and sits back down on the rock, teasing him. Naruto rushes him even with one arm, and he sticks, his hand through Sukuna's chest as they both glow, appearing back in the real world, now in front of the waterfall. Sukuna's eyes widen, realizing their souls have now split. They were no longer connected as one being. Now they existed as two separate entities. Naruto uses Ice Release to block Sukuna for a moment and sprints away. Sukuna turns around, watching the rest of his clan walk out as well. I'm sure that won't be our last encounter, so go strong for me, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto runs away, day and night, until he finds his way into the base of Orochimaru. Heal my arm. Seeing Naruto here, Orochimaru is scared because he believes this might be Sukuna. So, he listens to Naruto's demands and gives Naruto an arm full of Hashirama cells as the boy wraps it in bandages. Alright, now tell me something. How do you free a soul from the Reaper Death Seal? Orochimaru explains the process and Naruto leaves shortly after. He heads to the Leaf Village and steals the Shinigami mask without being detected. He then heads far away to the outskirts of the ninja world. He finds an area full of wild animals and fruit that's near fresh water, so it would be fine for him to drink. Alright, now let's meet the old man. Naruto summons the Reaper and cuts its belly open, freeing the souls, including Orochimaru's arms. Next, Naruto performs the Edo Tensei to revive a Kage from the past. Out from the box steps the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. He looks around at the area to see the boy standing in front of him. Naruto smiles, realizing he did it, and in that moment, Minato sees Kushina. He utters the words, Naruto. The boy nods and Minato hugs him while starting to apologize for everything. After he finishes, Naruto explains their situation, and Minato, he has Naruto sit down as Naruto doesn't wake up until the next morning. He now hears two new voices in his head, one of Minato and the other of the Nine-Tails Kurama. Naruto, you're the only one in the world who can even hold a candle to the power of Sukuna. You have to become much stronger to even damage him. This training will allow you to do so and even defeat him. So, let's begin. A year and a half goes by of Naruto training non-stop for this final battle. And during this time, Sukuna has already attacked both the sand and the stone villages, destroying each of them. He's also rebuilt the Whirlpool village and assumed his spot as king. However, Naruto has always been in the shadows, growing stronger and stronger. He could feel it. The One-Tailed Shukaku was now being attacked by the Akatsuki during this time, and Naruto appeared with a hood over his head. Deidara, seeing this, wondering who this person was, attacks him just because. The man disappears from his sight, and Deidara then feels the back of someone sitting next to him on his clay bird. Tell me, where is Nagato Uzumaki located, and I'll allow you to escape with your life. Datara is petrified to even move. Who is this person? And why were they so terrifying to me? I feel like if I blink, I'll die. I don't know where he is. That's not the answer I was hoping for. Naruto jumps down off the clay bird and instantly kills Sasori right in front of Datara. This guy, he has an insane amount of power. He can kill all of us. Datara begins to fly away and makes it back to the base of the Akatsuki as he explains to everyone that a hooded figure is looking for Pain. Madara and Pain look at each other, telling Datara that this so-called destroyer won't be able to kill either of them. All of them then watch as Datara has a hand put around his shoulder. Thanks for leading me right to them. Datara tries to speak, but his neck is then snapped by the hooded figure. Good. It seems all of you are here, so that makes my mission much easier. This will be the first true test of my strength and training. Hidan and Kakazu rush in, but Naruto blocks their attacks and blocks Hidan's sight while slamming a tail beast bomb into Kakazu. An explosion goes off as now they were fighting outside, as the base was destroyed. Naruto turns to Hidan, who seemed to be alive even after taking the full force of the tail beast bomb as well. He dodges the scythe again and places his hand on his back. Hidan glows for a moment as he's then sealed into his own weapon. Naruto picks it up, saying to himself, good to know that actually works. He looks forward at Kisame, Itachi, Pain, Konan, and the masked man. Kisame swings Samehada, but a palm is placed on his chest. You've recovered pretty well from our last encounter, but you won't get that chance here again. Kisame then has ice that surrounds his entire body as Naruto shatters it, killing him. Itachi wonders what they should do, and he thinks of a plan, but as he does so, he's teleported far away from their base. Finally, it's just you two, as Konan had flew away. First, that eye of yours. I'll be taking it. Naruto then rips it from its socket and creates a clone to hold it for him. The masked man tries to attack Naruto, but he can't even see him. This leads to him being impaled by the hand of Naruto, as his body falls to the ground, slowly losing life. And now, it was Naruto against the paths of Pain. The Diva Path isn't even sure they can win, but they have to try. All hope isn't completely lost as Naruto enters KCM 1. There's no doubt in my mind that Naruto wouldn't have any trouble as he demolishes all of them. Even without knowing their abilities, he outclasses each path of Pain in every aspect. Naruto uses Kurama's sensory abilities to then find the real body and heads there. Konan had beaten him there, but she's killed with no hesitation at all. Nagato looks forward to Naruto, who then takes off his hood. He kills him. There's no conversation about world. Well, the world's peace and the condition that it's in. There's nothing like that here. Just death as Naruto is seeking revenge. Naruto takes out one of the eyes and destroys the body of Nagato so that Sukuna can't have the other. He then heads to their new location, sneaking into the Leaf Village once again and finding Tsunade. She's shocked, as this means he's not connected to Sukuna anymore. He has her transplant the eyes to him, as he would leave the next day, even though she begs for him to stay. He heads far away from the village, into the stone, where they were being enslaved by the Uzumaki. A general who was stationed there felt uneasy. He felt as if Sukuna himself was watching him, staring down at him. The man turned around and looked up on the wall to see a pink-haired boy sitting there with a scythe on his back. He wore a raggedy clothing, but you could tell who this person was. Wait, you're... Yeah. I am Naruto, the true king of the Uzumaki clan. Tell that false idol of yours to keep my throne warm. Months go by, as one night Sukuna is awoken by the feeling he gets. He sits up from the bed and puts on his robes, as then he turns around towards his window to face Naruto, who sat there waiting for him. With a swing of his hand, Sukuna sends Naruto flying back. He recovers quickly. Strong as ever, he blocks his fist with his scythe. You took everything from me. You were just a pawn in my plans. You had no real value to me, Naruto. Sukuna summoned his spear, and Naruto dodged its blade. Sukuna then blocks Naruto's attacks, but is still knocked off balance. A Rasengan is slammed into his chest, but after, he's cut by the scythe. Sukuna heals those minor injuries and rips off his clothing. Naruto does the same, as they both stare at each other. Come, Naruto. Show me just how much stronger you've truly become. The fate of this world now lies on your shoulders, so don't crack under the pressure. Naruto blocks the fist of Sukuna while landing a kick. The king grabs his legs and goes to break it, but a burst of orange chakra frees Naruto's leg. What a strange power. So that's how you plan to defeat me. I like your style, kid. Sukuna increases his speed and goes to punch Naruto. The knuckle of his hand touches Naruto's nose, but in that moment he vanished as Naruto teleported above Sukuna and now held his held beast bomb in his hands. He slams it into Sukuna, cracking the ground below them. Naruto stands over the king, who then cracks a smile and grabs him by the throat as he lifts Naruto in the air, squeezing his neck. The clone poofs into smoke as Sukuna turns his head, as we get this insane slow-mo shot of him seeing Naruto right behind him with lightning coating his fist. He stabs his hand through Sukuna's chest as he stands there, looking at the sky. You truly are an amazing vessel, Naruto. The power you were able to obtain in just a short amount of time. It's truly incredible. I don't doubt that if you were born as my equal during the same time period, we would have been great comrades. But as history will show it, there can only be one king. Sukuna backhands Naruto through buildings and begins to glow. His power drastically increases, and when Naruto makes it back to the area, Sukuna was in his true form. He now had 4 arms and stood even taller and more muscular. This was going to be Naruto's true test. The voice of Minato tells Naruto to stick to the plan, and it will work out. As Naruto nods, activating his 2 dojutsu, Sukuna is angered. Not only does this brat have the Sharingan, but also the Rinnegan. The king appears behind Naruto with his spear and cuts him in half. This is when the spear hits the ground, but Naruto remains perfectly fine, as when it hits the ground, it splits the ground. He wonders how Naruto is still intact, and Naruto then slams his fist into his face, and Sukuna slowly turns his head, looking down at him, trying to slash upward through his body again, but Naruto uses the flying Raijin to evade, as he throws multiple kunai around Sukuna, attacking him from all angles. The king of Uzumaki blocks these attacks with his 4 arms, as Naruto utilizes more and more power. Jumping back, he then uses the almighty push on Sukuna. Even with all of this, Sukuna remains standing and is amused by Naruto. He forms the arrow of fire and shoots it. Naruto then decides to show off even more power as he uses Kurama Link mode. He pulls out the scythe and splits the arrow of flames around him, causing an explosion. Naruto stands there, looking at Sukuna, who is shocked. That power. It's the Nine Tails. I can sense that beast inside of you. Naruto jumps forward and blitzes his opponent. The king of Uzumaki takes all these hits and slams his entire arm through Naruto's stomach. The boy coughs up blood, dropping his weapon. Naruto, you truly are foolish. You couldn't have thought that this would be enough. I've already regained my full strength. You've given me the best battle in a very long time. But it's over. Naruto looks down into his eyes and begins to chuckle. Yeah, you're right. It's over. Planetary devastation. Naruto pushes off of Sukuna and then begins to heal himself the best he can, while Sukuna is then surrounded by large rocks that form a sphere as big as a planet and keeps floating higher and higher. It keeps going until it leaves Earth's orbit, floating into space far away. Naruto now lays against a destroyed rock, completely exhausted. Even with all the power that he's gained in this last 2 years, there was no way he'd defeat Sukuna. Sealing him was his only chance, and luckily, it worked. But there's no telling how long he has until Sukuna returns, so he must prepare himself and the next generation of Uzumaki. The clan comes from the shadows, noticing who won the battle. As they run and bow to their new king, Karn runs through the crowd hugging Naruto. As the Uzumaki rebuild their village, and 5 more years go by, as the shinobi world does sort of have peace in a way, but I wouldn't call this true peace. Deep in space, that wasn't the case. The planetary devastation, or the large planet, was found by a clan of planet eaters as they break the seal placed on the rock, as Sukuna is now freed. But he isn't in a regular dimension. He's on a completely different world. Around him stood beings way ahead of him in terms of power. He looks forward, seeing someone. No, this was a being that could only be known as the Otsutsuki God. Prepare yourself, Naruto, because this is far from over. And this is where the series will end for now, as I'm actually thinking about doing a special for this series later to see the invasion of Earth and how it will go. If you guys did enjoy the video and you want to see that in the future, leave a like, as it really helps the video reach more people. I'm low-key running out of ideas for Naruto, as crazy as that sounds, so leave some suggestions in the comments for me. It really helps me out a bunch, and you guys always have some creative ideas. I think the next video I'm going to make is going to be on my hero, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, this is Zero, and I'll catch you all on the next one.